Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the vlog. I go by the name of Powell, and today I'm going to be talking about how I quit my 9 to 5 job. So, this story began last year. Last year, I just started feeling different, and before that, I used to work as a preschool substitute teacher. So, I used to go around different schools in Gothenburg, Sweden, working with kids between the ages of 1 to 5. And there was this point somewhere between October where I started working in this new school. I'm not going to mention the name of the school, but the school was filled with, kids that were so bad, and it was so bad to the point where it wasn't good mentally. Imagine waking up and going to work, and the first thing you hear are probably like 15, 16 kids screaming and crying. It gets to a point where it just becomes draining. So, in December, whilst I was working, I noticed that when I was going to work, my body physically started shaking. I was shaking. I felt like I wanted to throw up. I felt like I wanted to vomit. I felt like I was getting sick every single morning. And then, I'm a very, mentally strong person, guys. I've done 1,000 push-ups every day for 60 days. I've been able to run 85 kilometers and I've run 65 kilometers twice. I've done all these things without no sponsorship, no payment. I've just done this because I wanted to do it. So that should just give you an idea of how mentally strong I am. But if me going to work makes me start feeling physically ill and shaken, I believe the universe or God was trying to tell me something. So also, my rent, about everything was $1,000. And guys, this job I was working, I was making somewhere between $1,000 to $1,200 per month after taxes, which is very horrible. I had to pay my rent, pay electricity, pay Wi-Fi. Sometimes I had to also send money to my mom, which wasn't a lot, and I had to buy food. So, I was barely surviving, man. I had a friend who, he said before I started earning money online, I was living like a rat, which is true because I was barely surviving, guys. But even though I was barely surviving, I still woke up each and every morning, aspiring to reach my goals. I was releasing a song every week. I was training hard. I was studying. I was reading. I was doing every single thing just to change my situation. So in December, when I noticed that I wasn't feeling good just by going to work, during the Christmas break, I had 3 weeks. I had 3 weeks and only $500 saved, guys. And my rent was $1,000. So I remember I saved $500 in cash and I pulled out that cash and I put it on the carpet in my living room. And I looked on the floor and I was like, Powell, this is just paper. This is just paper, man. You have to find a way to earn some money. So with that being said, in December, I created 3 different Shopify websites. I tried my best. I started selling women's lingerie, women's panties, bras, just to sell anything. I started even selling, fitness gears, workout equipment. Nothing was happening. I created a Fiverr account, an Upwork account, so I could probably teach people how to beatbox or teach people how to sing or rap or even teach people, how to get a good physique. I tried my best, but every single morning when I woke up, guys, still $0 in the bank account. Zero. I didn't celebrate my birthday. I don't normally celebrate my birthday, but I didn't celebrate my birthday either ways. I didn't celebrate Christmas, New Year's. I never celebrate Christmas and New Year's. Why? Because I'm not where I want to be. But last year I got depressed. But when I say depressed, I'm not talking about depressed in such a way where I got to take antidepressants. No, my depression turned into anger, deep hunger and anger. Those two things. I was hungry, man. I was hungry, but I was also hungry to find a way to quit my job. So I remember on the 2nd of January, around 2 a.m., I turned off my phone, I turned off my laptop, I turned off my Samsung tablet, and I just sat down on the kitchen floor and I was stretching. And I was talking to God. I was like, God, man, I've done everything, God. I was like, God, I've tried my best. Last year I run 3 ultra marathons, no payments, no sponsorship. I did it alone. I've done over 60,000 push-ups. I've been to the gym. I've taught myself how to dance, beatbox. I was like, God, all these things I'm doing, why won't you reward me? Why won't you bless me with something at least? Please, God, please. Like, I was desperate, man. I was begging. I was begging. And guys, I heard a voice. Look, this, you can believe whatever it is you want. If you want to believe what I'm saying now, it's up to you. I don't care. I don't care what you believe. I believe it because I heard it. And the voice told me, do NPC on TikTok. I was like, yo, you know, when I heard the voice, I knew it in my heart. I knew it was going to work. I knew it. You know, the reason why I knew it was going to work was because when I was running all these ultra marathons on the road alone for 17 hours, for 12 hours, I came to the point where I was able to know the difference between my own doubtful thoughts and the thought of God or the Supreme or whatever it is you want to call it. You know, because when you're on the road alone and you're running and you're doing things alone, you start getting a sense of what your intuition sounds like. You start understanding the real voice, not the made up voice of this matrix or this world or what people tell you. You start listening to your inner voice, and I knew it was the inner voice. So I knew it was going to work. So, you know, when I heard this during the stretch, I woke up directly and I started doing my TikTok lives. And you know, my TikTok live in the beginning, it was very trash. I only had 7 people watching the live. Guys, on the third day, I had 75,000 people watching the live. 75,000 people, guys. From 7 people to 75,000 people. I was shocked. I was shocked, man. You know why? Because during the Christmas break, I had 3 weeks to come up with an idea. And I also made a promise that I was never going to go back to work. I told myself, either I become homeless or I find a way to make it. And lo and behold, guys, I didn't have any money in, you know, December. I only had $500. I didn't know how I was even going to pay my rent. But by the end of January, I had $3,000. I could pay my rent. I could buy food. I could send money to my mom. Man, I was so happy, man. I was so happy. So since the 2nd of January until now, today, which is the 10th of August, I've been doing TikTok lives ever since then. But guys, I'm not going to lie to you. What I do on TikTok takes a lot of hard work. I show up each and every day. I go live somewhere between 5 to 7 times a day. You know, there are a lot of days where I'm stressed. There's some days when, you know, you're depressed, because this is not like having a 9-to-5 job. Because when you have a 9-to-5 job and you go to work, you know you're going to get a salary. But on TikTok or whoever earns money online, one thing they can definitely agree with me on is the fact that you never know how much you're going to be making each month. And that is the stress. And sometimes you have to figure things out yourself. Why? Because it is you. You are the business. You know, what I do on TikTok, I have to be in shape. I can't be out here drinking. I can't be out here smoking. I can't be out here partying. And most of you guys say you want to quit your 9-to-5 jobs. But every weekend, you're in the nightclub. Every weekend, you are in the bar. Every weekend, you're wasting your time watching a Netflix episode that is never gonna help you reach your goals. And this is the brutal truth. I know most of you guys don't want to hear it, and I don't care if you like me or not. I don't care, bro. Your opinion to me is, bro, it doesn't exist. You know why? I'm proud of myself, you know, but I'm gonna give most of the, how do you call it? I'm gonna give all of the accolades to the voice I heard in my head. You understand? But the most important thing I did in all this was that I made a decision. I made the decision I'll never work a 9-to-5 job again. Never, ever, 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 ever work a 9-to-5 job. I'll rather, I don't want to say the word because I'm on YouTube, but I will rather, I don't want to say the word, but you understand what I mean. I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job. I'll never work a 9-to-5 job. Now we live in an age where the phones, the laptops, the tablets, all these electronical devices, these things are literally banks in our pockets. But most of us use our phones, our tablets, our computers. We use these things for things that don't even actively help us reach our goals, help us reach our dreams. Guys, on 2nd of January, my life changed, and because of that, I now live in Dubai. You understand? I now live in Dubai. I don't have to think about the way I pay my rent. But the job is not over. I still wake up each and every morning with severe hunger hunger to succeed, hunger to win. Even though I've achieved a lot now and I'm proud of myself, the journey still goes on, because deep down I know I'm not where I want to be yet, and I have so much more to accomplish. And if you really want to quit your 9 to 5 job, guys, you have to put your phone down. And when I say put your phone down, I don't mean stop using your phone. You only have to use your phone if it is actively helping you earn money, or it is giving you ideas to change your life. Aside from that, whatever it is you're using your phone for, or your computer for, or your laptop for, you're just wasting your time, and you will never quit that job.